right. So I asked a question for the collective today around March. What is it that we need to know about March? And these are the cards that I drew. I might be pausing this video during it just so that I can find everything so you don't have to wait. So yeah, I just bear with me. I just thought I'd try these cards because they're quite interesting. So this first one is what is the lens that we can look at through? So for March, it is that retrograde gets a bad rap, especially Mercury retrograde, but the retrograde cycle is truly a helpful and necessary time. It's nothing to worry about, just something to work with. So the message here is to stop the normal patterns of your life and take a break. The roots of the issue are found in the past. Reconsider, revise, repair, and edit. This is quite profound at the moment because so many of us are going through, you know, doing the inner work and that kind of thing. So quite interesting. Dig into a drawer and find an old idea to bring forth and rework it. Reconnect with old friends and previous contacts. Address some unfinished personal business. A delay may be a saving grace in the situation, so check equipment, read the fine print, and make sure that everyone is on the same page and it is safe to move forward. This is an opportunity for a do-over, and you don't need to get stuck in the past. If an old problem rears its head, rather than reinscribing dysfunctional patterns, take a different approach. And isn't that really what we're all being asked to do? We're asked to not get stuck in the past, but to start looking at things a little bit differently. So the challenge around this is it's not a time, tempting though it may be, to reminisce, pick at old scars, or revisit a painful situation from your past just because you want the emotional charge of anger or the excuse to wallow in memories of betrayals and regrets. You've been there, done that, got the t-shirt, and you don't need to do it again. The gift is to take a deep breath. This is a moment out of the ordinary flow, an opportunity to use what you've worked so hard to learn. Use your accumulated skills, knowledge, and maturity. Slow, steady, and thoughtful will win this race. And really, that's really what we're being called to do, is to remain level-headed amongst all the distractions and all the chaos of this world. So remember that as things continue to hot up. So the next card, which is quite beautiful, is the moon. And this is the celestial character, which basically these cards describe which archetype is activated by a question and the strengths that we can call upon to take action. So this is the moon. And the moon really has been quite spectacular of late. So I think this is just fantastic. Now, the moon is all about perception. It speaks of the deep inner river of emotions, what motivates us, how we experience and express our feelings, etc., etc. So we first need to perceive what unspoken emotional inner calling and patterns drive us. Look to our own moon sign. When you cooperate with your moon's emotional motivation, you'll find it easier to walk in harmony with your path. Speak to the insecurities that slow the process. Act in a way that helps others feel nurtured, warm, and emotionally connected. The challenge is to look to feelings rather than logic to move the situation forward. Notice any strange responses to anxiety, touchy defenses, nepotism, subjectivity, insecurity. Tend to the fear that lies underneath these behaviors. The gift is that we are one with the ebb and the flow. Watch what sign the moon occupies each day and let the moon teach you about its phases. Align yourself with those tides and make your life easier. And just on this, what it said, the action was to speak in a way that helps others feel nurtured and warm and emotionally connected. I just think that speaks so much to where we are right now and what we're going to be required to do going forward, where we are going to need to help one another through this path, down this path, those that are newly awakened, all this kind of thing. So really, really powerful cards. The next one is Ascendant, and so this card points to the location. It basically shows us the compartments or locations in our life that are activated in the present moment and in need of attention. So this one here is all about, how do we see the world? Take a long look at the assumptions and presumptions through which you filter your experience of reality. Really look at how your privilege, trauma, or certain attributes of your history can distort the reality of the moment. Do what you can to dismantle those obstructions so you can see the whole view. Open that aperture. Conversely, also look carefully at the signals you send off. Do they match your intent? Do they say you're fine when you really need a hug? Are you trained to sound modest or apologetic when really you know what you're doing? So again, this for me is about being authentic. It's about how we see in the world. We're realizing that a lot of our limiting beliefs and our perceptions of things color our world. And isn't that another thing that we're really being asked to look at the moment, to try and take that stance of neutrality so that we don't, get sort of hijacked by our filters, so that we don't see the truth in things. The challenge here is that the front door is only one part of the house. Be willing to look beyond appearances and into the heart, but don't count on others' ability to do so too. So again, this card is a real reminder that don't worry about what everybody else is doing, but you need to just try and do the most and the best that you can do. And the gift is that over time, your reputation is built on what you do, not how you look. And it's again with the falling away of how things appear. So very interesting cards if we consider all of this going into March. And the last one is the progressions, and it happens to be the last card in the deck, and it is this progressions card is all about the journey. So this card describes the relationship between archetypes and investigate whether the situation is a passing event instigated from the outside or part of the progression of the soul's growth. So this card, progressions do not speak of a passing thing, but to the big sweeping arcs of karmic fate to your soul's journey. Your present situation may not make sense in the short term because it has more to do with big karmic patterns and less to do with your daily existence. Stand back and look at your life's journey. Think of the years you've engaged with the world and the years you needed time for more personal work. Consider making a timeline or painting this landscape to see where you are in those big sweeping patterns. The situation may feel fated, but the outcome is not predestined. Though you may feel uncomfortable, you always have a choice about how you respond and where you go, pointing back to this. Do not let our filters dictate how we've always done things and how we're going to look at the world. To help guide you in the moment, consider where you'd like to be at the back end of your life, a far distant point, and look back. Let this future become your lighthouse to guide you. Even though you may have to go around the rocks and work with the tides, let your lighthouse guide you. The challenge here is this is not a small obstacle or opportunity. This is part of a complex pattern. Every choice you make changes how it unfolds. And the gift is to trust the tides and set your own sails. And I just think this is such a beautiful card because we really are all being called to do our own unique thing at this time, our own way to try and heal parts of ourselves and parts of the collective, and looking at how we want the world to go and what we want it to look like. And so if that's March, it shows that really the power's in our hands. We need to check carefully at our filters. We need to not get stuck in the past, not get stuck in our own patterns, check ourselves, check our programming, check all of these things that we've just almost gone through life unconsciously, because really it is up to us and it's part of the journey. And it's been a long one, and I know we're all really tired, but we ultimately determine the outcome. So there was a nice little short reading, and I've not actually done these cards like this, but it was really quite interesting, and I hope everybody's enjoyed that.